Yes, you've landed on the right place. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Seeds of Faith. Happy Sunday again. It seems like it's becoming a mood to be in every Sunday. I am so happy to be here with you today, and as you have said from the title, we are starting a kind of set of episodes that will be featuring women in the Bible. I got this inspiration. Well, let me share this with you. I got the inspiration from an Instagram page I created a couple of days ago that is centered on women, and we are talking about women that have been an inspiration throughout history in all subjects, medicine, politics, employment, art, you name it. We are just featuring women that have really led us by example and people that we admire and estimate. I will attach the link to the Instagram in the bio, so please check it. It has just started, but this is a project that I created with some other women that are part of my life, my friends, closer female friends that also have parallel ideas and have done something really amazing, have really made a difference in the female world. And just encourage us by liking the page and following it, and share it if you can. I'll be really, really grateful. And so let's start on what we want to talk about today. This paragraph, I don't even remember how it came about, but I just started to read the story, and from the beginning I was amazed by it. Really amazed by it. And I want to share with you. Come with me to 2 Kings chapter 4. So we will be dealing with the passage that starts from verse 8 to the end of the chapter. We won't read it all together, but I really invite you to do so. So just take some time to have a read through this passage and see how God is leading you through your thoughts and what the Holy Spirit is telling you about the whole situation. I think there are a lot of aspects here because this passage is so rich of information, and there is really so much that we can draw from it. But what I want to really focus on is the woman that is in this passage, the Shunnamite woman. Forgive me for my pronunciation. I'm not sure if it's Shunnamite or Shunnamite, but there you go. I'm Italian, so you know better than me. Let's just focus on this figure, on this character. The passage tells us that this is a wealthy woman. Well, some translations say well-to-do or well-off. So she's financially stable, we can say. And then there is another important characteristic of the Shunnamite. She's hospitable, yes. She's very welcoming. And we know that from the fact that she has invited the prophet Elisha for a meal, and she really wanted him to get that meal. Do you understand? Like when you're inviting someone for dinner or for lunch, and you're not just doing that because you just want to break the ice, or you don't really know what else to say, or just because you think that this is what is expected for you to do. She really wanted him to go and enjoy a meal with them, with her and her husband, and her hospitality wasn't just stopping at inviting him for a meal. She cared about this prophet. She says, I know that this man who often come our way is a holy man of God. Let's make a small room on the roof and put in a table and a bed and a chair and a lamp for him. Then he can stay there whenever he comes to us. This just brings back a mixture of emotions. I get mixed feelings because I have been welcomed in some houses, and so I've been invited for a sleepover or for a meal, and sometimes it has been an amazing experience because I have felt loved and I have felt welcomed. But other times I felt like, are you really happy that I'm here, or did you just invite me and then you kind of drew your hand back and now you're not sure whether you really want to be with me? Are you really enjoying my company, or is it more of a effort for you? Is it more of a burden for you to have me over? And this made me think a lot about the way I also interact with other people, and I have to admit that sometimes my shortcomings in that sphere are also present, because not always when I invite people to stay over and spend a week with me, not always I enjoy that week to the fullest. Sometimes, after the fourth day, I'm like, I just want to breathe. And I know that that's not right. And that's why I'm bringing up this example of the Shunnamite woman, because she's an example for me. Yeah, she didn't just tell the prophet, okay, well, you can come and stay for this meal. And that's fine. That's already enough. I'm giving you free food. You should be grateful. She made a room for him. Yeah, she created the whole room just for him, so that whenever Elisha wanted to go and pass by and spend the night or the day or whatever that time he wanted to spend with them, he could. And that's a great invitation, and it's a great inspiration for all of us also. And I see something else in this situation, and that's the trust. Okay, now, if there is any man listening to this podcast, I just want you to think about you being married to a woman, and then she says, dear husband, I want to make a room in the house for this prophet that is coming often. We're gonna welcome him, we're gonna cook for him, we're gonna speak to him, and he's gonna sleep here whenever he wants to. It's so easy for a man to be like, hey, wait, hold on. So you want to go all this way, do all these things for another man? I mean, personally, me, Francesca, hasn't dealt with a lot of jealousy, thank God. And so I haven't fully experienced that. But I can imagine that for some people that can be quite upsetting. And I've seen that in those relationships often there is something that is lacking, and that's trust. And this is something that this couple is so strong at doing. Yes, the Shunnamite woman and her husband trust themselves. They trust each other. They have a relationship based on faith, on mutual understanding, and on communication. Because she communicates everything to him, and we will see that later on to the end of the passage, that every time she's making a decision or she's about to do something that is relevant, she asks him, she tells him. She's not doing it at his back, she's not doing it without consulting him. And the trust that they have for each other is good, to the point that they do create a room for Elisha to go and rest whenever he wants to. Now, what happens? Elisha is so grateful for what he has received from her, and he really appreciates the gift of hospitality that she has given him. So he decides to do something for her. He says that anything that she wants to be done, is there a way that we can speak on your behalf to the king or to the commander of the army? Is there anything at all that we can do for you? And she says something that I didn't really understand at first. The first time I read this passage, I was like, what? Like, what is she saying? She says, I have a home among my own people. And you find that at verse 13 of chapter 4. I have a home among my own people. Well, this shows me that this woman is very grateful for what she has, for what God has given her. And she isn't focusing on the negative side. She isn't focusing on what she's lacking. I mean, we know that she's wealthy. But surely there is something that she would want, right? Because the heart of the man is always thirsty of new things, always looking for a new desire, for something to be satisfied with. But this woman seems satisfied. She says, yeah, she's fine. And this way of answering, this way of saying that she has a home among her own people, shows a strong sense of community. And although she could be content with what she already has, God decides to bless her. Yeah, and that's what happens to us also when we are grateful to God. We're so grateful for what we have. And there God surprises us with another yet unexpected blessing that we didn't even ask for. But God knows the desires of our heart. And He knew deep inside that this Shunnamite woman had a desire. And that desire was to have a child. And when Elisha tells her, about this time next year, you will hold a son in your arms, what's the answer? She says, no, my Lord. Please, man of God, don't mislead your servant. Now, some people have compared this answer to the answer that Sarah gave to God when He prophesied that she was going to have a child with Abraham. But I don't agree with that. I think that the reaction is quite different because Sarah laughed. Do you remember? She laughed when God prophesied that. But the Shunnamite woman isn't laughing. She just doesn't want to be disappointed. And I completely get that. Yeah, she is a determined person. When she says something, when she sets her heart to something, she accomplishes it. She knows that when she starts something, she's going to finish it. She's determined. Yeah, she's ambitious. So she doesn't want to be disappointed because she takes people's word for it. And has it ever happened to you that because of the way you are, you try to portray that on other people, you try to reflect your own image onto others? You think that just because everything you do, say, then you actually practice it and you accomplish it, then you think that other people are going to do the same. But you're aware of the fact that we are not all of the same kind. And as we are different people, we have also different expectations. Her expectations was, if you tell me I'm going to have a child, then you will give it to me. And she wanted to make sure that this was going to happen because she didn't want to be disappointed. And I know that happens to me sometimes. Because when I say that I'm going to do something, I go my way to achieve it. But then I also know that there are other people that don't do the same. And so I also try to lower my expectations so that I don't get disappointed. And later on, she has a baby. She has a child. When the child is grown, probably around 3-4 years old, we don't know exactly how old the baby was. Some experts say he was around 4. He could have been a little bit older. He was with his father in the camp, and all of a sudden he has a headache, and so his father tells him, carry him to his mother, to the servant. And this makes me think about something else, right? This woman, this is an amazing woman, right? Let's just all really think about the qualities of this Shunnamite woman. She is the CEO of the family. And I hope nobody will take offense by me saying that. But if you look at how everything is unfolding and how everything is working out, she really is in charge of the family. Her husband is the CFO of the family. And we know that the CEO and the CFO work hand, close, direct contact to make sure that the company is working well, that everything is being planned in the right way, that everything, including finances and employees and everybody that is concerned with the company is working in peace and harmony. And we know exactly what the roles here are. Although the CEO and the CFO are on the same level in terms of importance, they have different roles. And the CFO that is in charge of finances and planning and analysis, he refers to the CEO. He refers to the CEO. So the husband here refers to his wife, saying, carry him to his mother. And the child is carried to his mother, and once he's carried there, he's awake for a few hours, and then he dies. He dies on her knees. So she calls her husband and says, please send me one of the servants and a donkey so I can go to the man of God quickly and return. Doubts are raising. He says, why go to him today? It's not the new moon, nor the Sabbath. This is the time in the passage that we see a little bit of questioning behind the words woman. Maybe the husband wasn't fully trusting her, or maybe he was suspecting something, we are not sure, but he's concerned about the reason why she wants to go and see Elisha. Maybe he just wants to understand her reasoning behind it. She goes. She tells him, that's all right. And I can pronounce it in the way that she said it. I think she should have said, that's all right. And my Italian version says, let it be, as if, just let me do it. Just let me work on this. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. She's the nurturer of the family. She's the one who takes care of situations linked to love and affection. She's the one who takes care of the child, and she's also the one that is in charge of the planning. And that's why we see how dynamic and how determined and how courageous this woman is. She executes. I mean, it's not by chance that she's the chief executive officer, right? She executes. Yeah. Let it be. So she went to see Elisha, and when he saw her from afar, he understood that there was something wrong. And when she saw him and he questioned her, the Shunnamite woman answered, everything is all right. And we see calm in those words. I mean, she didn't go all hysterical, attacking Elisha and telling him, "What have you done? Why is my son dead?" Bring him back to life, or blackmailing him. She isn't doing anything of that. She's saying, everything is all right. Yes, because sometimes in our life things are wrong. This woman has just lost a child, and she's there telling the prophet that everything is all right because she's a grateful woman. Yeah. And because she knows exactly that what God gives you, He can also take away. But there is something that is holding her close to God, and that's her faith. She could have buried the child. Yeah. But she didn't do that. Although he was dead, she laid him on Elisha's bed. That bed in that room that she had constructed for him. She laid the corpse of her child on that bed and went to seek for help. She knew exactly where to find help. She didn't waste time wandering around, thinking, who am I gonna ask to help? She knew exactly where to find help because she's determined, and she's analytical, and she's courageous. And that's why she tells Elisha, "Didn't I tell you, don't raise my hopes?" We see that her tone here is slightly changed. She went from everything is all right, in a sense of calm and peace, to didn't I tell you, don't raise my hopes? Yeah. She had told him, don't disappoint me. And now she's being disappointed. Now she's in a situation in which exactly what she was trying to avoid is happening in her life. The situation that she had predicted had now become the reality. She had lost her child. And Elisha referred to his servant to tell him to go and try to do something to bring the boy back to life. But our woman, we know her, right? Yeah. We know that she's an achiever. We know that she achieves things, that she doesn't abandon the battle, that she keeps on fighting. She's a fighter. So she says to him, as surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you. Yeah, she did not get content with Elisha's servant to go to help her. She wanted Elisha in person to go and help her because she wanted to give the best to her child. She wanted her child to be back to life. And the end of the story is a happy ending because Elisha went with her and the child went back to life. So she had her son back. Yeah. And that's what an achiever gets. And that is what a woman of God that has those qualities and those characteristics can do in her life. And that's a miracle. Yes, when you are courageous and determined and ambitious and hospitable, and when you are dynamic and you have a sense of creativity, you can truly achieve anything in life. And this is the story of a regular woman, apparently. the Shunnamite. We don't even know her name. And what she did is an inspiration for all the women. So I really encourage you to feel encouraged. Yeah, sorry for the crossing of the words. To feel encouraged by this story and try to draw a lesson from this. Try to think about the type of woman that you are. And this can be your exercise for our next episode that will still be centered around women. So write 3 to 5 qualities that you think you have. And let's see how you can work on that. Let's see how you can think about those qualities and think about how you're using them in an efficient way. So thank you so much for all of you for listening to me. I'm sorry this was slightly longer than usual. I usually try to keep it around 15 minutes. So this is a little bit longer, but I hope you've been blessed by this word, and I hope that God can really give you the inspiration and the creativity to draw a lesson from this passage and to become a better woman in our society.